Well, hello and welcome back to the Lab Bites channel. Now, for those of you who are paying close attention to our intro video, you may have heard Jack say that we'll only be working with EVs. And you're probably wondering, this is not an EV. Well, you'd be right. Jack has changed his mind and we're no longer only focusing on EVs. So today we'd like to introduce to you, and this is a mouthful.
That's what she said.
The Peugeot 3008 Hybrid 4 GT Premium Plus 300. I think I got all of that in there. Now, this particular car that we've got today is from 2021. It's not brand new. And while we have been trying to work with local garages to get hold of some newer cars, so far we've not had a huge amount of success with that. We're hoping that might change in the next few weeks. We're having a couple of conversations with a few different brands around the Lincolnshire area. So fingers crossed we can get some newer cars for you guys in the near future. But for now, we've decided we'd quite like to focus on used cars and maybe review some different cars under certain price brackets that are on the used market so that you can get an idea of what you might want to buy next. So let's have a look around. We'll show you what's to like, what's not to like, give a little bit of information about the performance, and just, yeah, we'll give it our verdict of whether we think this car is worth it in 2025. Let's have a look around. This particular variant is the highest performing version of the car that you could buy back when it first came out. It's got a 1.6 litre PureTech petrol engine that's combined with a 13.2 kilowatt hour battery that delivers a combined 300 horsepower, dual motors, one on each axle, and it's got an 8-speed automatic gearbox as well as 4-wheel drive for those of you who like a bit more security in the glorious British weather that we have here. Now, in terms of performance, it does have a little bit of a pep in its step with a 0 to 62 time of 5.9 seconds, which is more than respectable for your average daily driver. There's a claimed top speed of 146 miles per hour. Not that you'd ever get anywhere near close to that on UK roads, of course. And the combined fuel consumption is 188, and I am reading that correctly according to the fact sheet, 188 miles per gallon. Having owned this car for just over a year, I can tell you for a fact that is definitely not the case. But it's not bad. We'll get onto that a little bit later in the video. Like I mentioned earlier, there's also a battery because it is a plug-in hybrid. That battery capacity is 13.2 kilowatt hours. It's not huge and it has a claimed electric range of up to 36 miles. I can tell you for a fact, again, having owned the car for just over a year, that that's definitely not the case. But we'll talk a little bit more about electric only range later in the video. You got your charging port over on the left-hand side, fuel filler over on the right. That's pretty much all there is to it. Top tip, don't use your windows for a few hours when you've just washed your car, because otherwise it'll get all smudgy like that and it'll make all that hard work completely pointless. Job done. Moving on now to the boot capacity. Now, with this being the hybrid version of the car, you get quite a significant drop in available boot space. You get 395 litres, which is 25% less than the 520 litres you get in the non-hybrid version. It's quite a big drop. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments, would you rather have the hybrid version of the car with the improved performance or the non-hybrid version with a 25% larger boot? To be fair, the 395 litres still is enough for what we do most of the time. We've got a little bit of camera gear in here. We've got a tripod, camera bag, gimbal bag. That's got all our suction cups and stuff in it. And there's still tons and tons of room. We can get a few suitcases in here. We can get some more tripods in. It does the job for a reasonably small to mid-sized shoot. Would that be better if we had the extra 100 odd litres? Probably. Might be able to fit a bit more kit in. But it does the job. It does the job. Actually, coming back onto the boot space, I know we said you've got your 395 litres in there. We actually managed to fit in a special someone as well. How are you doing in there, Jack?
I mean, it was all right until you woke me up.
Did you have a good nap?
Ugh.
You can go back to sleep if you want. I'll finish the video on my own.
It's very cramped in there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you think I'd be able to get in?
You're much taller than me.
If you want a bigger boot, then maybe you're better going with the petrol-only version.
Yeah, but then you got to decide which one do you want. Do you want more range or do you want more boot space?
Yeah. Do you want the performance of the hybrid or the bigger boot?
Correct.
For putting more bodies in.
Anyway,
should we have a look at the interior?
Let's have a look at the interior. Let's do it.
Cool. So I'll just quickly go over the dimensions of the car before we move on to the interior. It is 4.44 metres in length by 1.84 metres wide, and it's 1.62 metres tall. I'm 6'2", so it gives you a rough idea of how tall or not tall the car is, as you will. And now, just before we move on to the interior with Jack, I just want to quickly show you 5 things that I really like about the outside of this car. Personally, I really enjoy the angular claw. They call it the claw. It's Peugeot's thing. The angular headlights. I think they look great when you're pulling up someone in the rear view, especially when you've got the daytime running light as an indicator here. Just has quite a good road presence. I enjoy it. I also like the chrome alloys on this one. Now, what's weird is this car has the black pack, as you may have noticed, but the garage that I bought it from, this came from a main dealership, and for some reason they gave me the chrome alloys. No idea why, but I personally prefer them over the black one, so that's a bit of a win for me. Next up, I know I mentioned about the front headlights. I quite like the design of the tail lights as well. Let's see if we can get them lit up. Again, just giving that kind of claw motif. Yeah, personally quite enjoy it. Number 4, I really like the black pack on this car. As I mentioned when I was talking about the alloys, kind of black badge, black lettering, all the black trim on the sides. The only problem is it's an absolute bloody nightmare to keep clean without scratching. So something to be aware of if you do choose to go for one with the black pack. And finally, I know this is quite common on almost every car nowadays, but I do still enjoy it, keyless entry, so you don't have to fumble around for your keys.
So as you step inside of this cockpit, you are immediately greeted with a 10-inch digital display. And that's got your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, and it also has your inbuilt satellite navigation and does all your controls for the car. One thing to note, with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, in this particular model, it is wired only. However, if you upgrade to the newer model, you will get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. But on this particular model, you also have a very small display of Apple CarPlay, and that's because along the left-hand side and the right-hand side, you have your climate controls, which unfortunately you cannot get rid of. But I quite like it because you've got ease of access then to your climate controls. However, some of you may not like that. So that's one thing to note. Also in front of you, there is a 12.3-inch digital display cluster, which shows you charge, your range left on your battery, which Joe's already said is very small, so don't expect miracles with this. And it also has an ADAS system, which a lot of people claim is almost as good as Audi and Mercedes. But I'll let you be the judge of that, and let me know in the comment section down below whether or not you believe such claims or not. Also, this car has the premium sound system by Focal, and I have to say, it is phenomenal. Compared to cars that I've driven previously, like Mercedes, Audis and Kias, this is by far one of the best sound systems I've ever heard. This particular model has a massaging driver's chair, which is fantastic, especially for those long drives where you might get a bit of an achy back. Put on the massage chair and relax. So all you need to do is press a button down the side of your chair, and on the screen, which is very quick, very responsive, you can select different models. So you've got cat paw, wave, stretch, lumbar, shoulders, and then you can also increase the whether it's low, medium or high. So if you want it proper harsh on your back, select that and you'll be having the time of your life. So that's it from the infotainment system, which is fantastic. Peugeot, really good job on that. But there's one thing I did miss, and that is memory seats, which is only available on the driver's seat though, which is standard on most vehicles. What's really important for me is the amount of storage you have in the cockpit, and also how easy things are to get to. So here you've got a wireless charging pad for your mobile phone. You've got another little storage cupboard here. And you've got your drive mode selector, so you can select whether it's an electric or hybrid just by pressing up and down. And you've also got sport mode, you've got 4-wheel drive, which is phenomenal. You've also got your gear shifter, your stop start button, and then below that you've got 2 cup holders. Now these cup holders aren't the best. They're very small and not very good, to be honest with you. If you've got some big bottles, like a 1 litre bottle or a 500ml, you might struggle to get more than one in there. So Peugeot, hopefully on the next models, they will make them a little bit larger and more user-friendly. So below the 2 cup holders, we've also got a storage bin. Now, what's fantastic is when you have your aircon unit on, it also blows cold air into the storage compartment. So if you've got your drinks in there, you've got some sandwiches for a road trip or a picnic, they're still going to be cold by the time you get to your destination. So Peugeot, fantastic work on that, really nice feature. There is one thing I don't like, and you all may agree with me here, and that is the glove box. what is that? Seriously, what can you put in there? You can put probably a small pack of sandwiches and a book. That's about it. You can't really call that a glove box. It's more of a, well, I don't really know what it is. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would call this glove box. So Joe's driver's seat is in his position, and there's a little bit of an issue with knee room. There's not an awful lot. And if you were to sit behind Joe's partner, who is a passenger princess, you're going to get even less room. So leg room and space back here isn't really the best, but you know what? It's nice and comfy, really light because you've got the sunroof, which stretches from the front to the back. Yeah, to be fair, I really like it. And obviously you've got the focal speakers back here as well. So yeah, we're just going to go over a few things that we don't like about the Peugeot 3008. So number one is over to you, Joe.
The constant hold the steering wheel warnings, even when you're aggressively tugging on the steering wheel. The piano black trim that coats most of the center console and the steering wheel.
And lastly, this abysmal glove box, which is halfly taken up by the huge fuse box. Why, Peugeot? If you're now watching this segment, you might realise that I'm not wearing the same clothing.
Well, we've already tried to shoot this talking scene once on the same day that we shot the rest of the video. And when we came to editing it, it was so bumpy, we just had to scrap it. So hopefully the way that we've mounted the camera this time is a bit more stable, a bit more secure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of potholes around here, so we'll try and find some smoother roads as well. So we're actually technically shooting this on a different day. You never would have known. You got to be thinking about like continuity.
Yeah, but I like the raw aspects of YouTube.
Jack likes it raw, guys. You've heard it here first.
We'll cut that bit out.
No comment.
But yeah, let us know if you like our content being raw, or would you sooner watch it polished, where everything's refined and scripted. I'm very much for showing you the real world.
This is the worst potholey bit, so if this looks stable, then we're sorted. Oh, Jesus.
Hopefully this comes across on camera, because this is the worst road in Newark.
Yeah, this is one of the worst road surfaces I've ever driven on. Right, ask me some questions.
Okay, so, well, I can't ask you a question once you eat the fucking protein bar, can I? This lad is either sleeping or eating, but yet he's got nothing on him. What is your secret?
Fast metabolism.
Fucking not kidding.
Allegedly.
As an owner of the Peugeot 3008,
Yeah.
how would you find the ride comfort of this car?
Personally, I think it's very comfortable. You know, we're on a very smooth road surface right now, just driving around town, cruising at about 30 miles an hour. And it's a very comfortable place to be. Similar on the motorway or the dual carriageway. Once you get up to speed, very cozy place to be. And like I was saying to you, Jack, my previous car that I've come from before I bought this, just over a year ago, was a Peugeot 208. So I've stuck with the brand, but that was a much smaller car. You know, you feel every bump. You don't really have that road presence. Whereas in this, you're a lot higher up, you've got a lot more around you. The suspension's decent. It's not air suspension, granted, but it is good for what it is. We're just in hybrid mode right now, which is a slightly softer driving experience. And we're just about to get on the bypass. So if I kick it into sport mode, we'll feel how it just becomes a little bit more responsive. Got a slightly firmer feedback through the steering wheel.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it.
Yeah, you feel it, it goes. So you've got that as and when you need it to get up to speed on here. It does make the ride slightly stiffer, but I actually quite enjoy that. I like getting a bit more road feel.
See, when it's in sport mode for me, I do enjoy a tougher or firmer steering wheel.
Yeah, as a driver, it's great.
Yeah.
As a driver, you just get that feedback, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
You as a passenger.
If I was a passenger princess, I would enjoy the ride comfort. But...
Don't talk about my fiance like that.
Sorry, Hannah. If you could change anything about the ride comfort, would there be anything that you'd like to see improved?
I don't know whether it's something that's related to hybrids or whether it's this car in particular. When you've just come off a cold start, so yesterday I was going to the gym, and I hadn't driven the car.
You go to the gym?
Yeah, I go to the gym.
Okay.
Off. I hadn't driven the car in 2 days, and when I went to the gym yesterday, I got on the link road, floored it, and nothing happened.
Oh dear.
The motor was not there, the engine was just not there, and then after about 5 seconds, it went, oh, go on then, and we were off. So I don't know whether it's just because the engine was cold, the battery was cold, but that is something I notice in this car.
Yeah.
Is that if you want that full, like, instant power that you get from the battery, it does need to have warmed up a little bit.
Yeah. For your next car then, Joe, will you be going for the newer model of the Peugeot 3008, or will you be looking at going maybe full EV?
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that because the brand new version of this car, they dropped the highest performance version. So the one we're driving today, 300 horsepower, 0 to 65.9 seconds, you can't get that anymore on the full electric, or they do a hybrid as well, but you can't get a higher performance option. It's a very nice car, it's a very good looking car, it's a very comfortable car, and it's got great tech, but it's just not, it's not got the power or the speed for what I would want for my next car. I would want something that's as powerful and as quick as this, if not more so, and the brand new 3008 doesn't deliver on that.
So Joe, I mentioned previously that this car has as good as a Mercedes and an Audi's ADAS system.
Theoretically, yeah, that's what they say in the forums.
You've owned this car now for just over a year.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Genuinely, in a sentence, I'd say it changed my life. It's genuinely that good. So, like I said earlier, I came from a 208. It was full manual driving. You have absolutely no driver assistance options on it whatsoever. First car, fine. Coming up to this, it literally drives itself. So when I'm on dual carriageway or motorway like this, controls are super easy to get to. Back here, you can adjust the distance that the car keeps behind the one in front. It will completely come to a standstill. So when you're in traffic, it'll stay in position behind the car ahead and it will come to a complete stop. And then when the traffic picks up again, if it's been a second or two that it stopped and then it starts to move, the car will start moving for you. If it's been longer than like 2-3 seconds, then you just put your foot on the accelerator. It tells the car like, okay, we're moving again. Take your foot off and that's it. So long drives, if I'm going down to London and it's a 3.5 hour drive, probably 3 hours of that, the car's driving itself on ADAS. It's genuinely that good. Like that is how much trust I have in the system. I find I get to my destination feeling a lot more rested than if I'm manually driving the entire way. The only thing that I would say is that when you've got cruise control active, if you put your foot on the brake, it disengages the cruise and applies braking, so you feel quite a sudden, like if I demonstrate for you now, so we're on cruise, and then if I brake, it's quite firm.
Oh yeah.
So as a passenger, if you aren't aware that the driver's using cruise control, and all they've done is they've just disengaged it with the brake pedal and are starting to decelerate, they kind of look at me as if to be like, well, are you in control of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Because it does feel quite jerky. It'd be nice if like they could soften that out somehow.
So overall, Joe, you're very happy with this car?
Love it.
Brilliant.
10 out of 10. This is the one thing that fucks me off about this car so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm parking, leave the fucking cameras on. Right, that'll do. Okay, cool. And breathe.
So Joe, what do you think then about this Peugeot 3008 and how do you think it holds up in 2025?
Honestly, mate, everything that we've looked at today on this car, what more could you possibly want?
Nothing.
Right? Brilliant sound system.
Correct.
Massage memory heated seats.
Yes.
One of the best adaptive cruises that I've ever experienced. It's comfy as fuck. It's quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick them up today for about 21 to 22 grand.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
That is a steal.
Yeah. Now, granted, when you bought this car brand new, it would have been 54k.
Okay, a little bit on the pricey side.
Because it's top spec.
Yeah.
About a year and a bit ago, I paid 28, 21, 22,000 today.
I bet you wish you should have waited now a year.
I mean, yeah, but I've enjoyed it for the year. So.
Yeah, and to be fair, from an EV owner's perspective as well.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you, because since you drive a full EV,
yeah,
and you've not spent a huge amount of time with the car,
no.
What were your first impressions? How do you think the hybrid system compares to full electric? What are your thoughts?
I'm not going to talk about the hybrid system because the battery on it is abysmal.
It's not good.
it's shocking.
We'll leave it at that.
But in terms of the overall car, the comfort, the quietness of it, and the sound system for me, it's just phenomenal. What
Brilliant.
A chef's kiss. Honestly,
so good.
chef's
so
kiss.
good.
Yeah, focal.
For a Peugeot.
Yeah, which normally when people say Peugeot, you think,
people
stay
bash
away.
on them.
They do, but that's
I don't get it, but
I think it might be from their older Peugeots.
Maybe.
But they've definitely stepped up the game on this one. And in the 2025 models, where you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto
they've made
wireless.
so many improvements to the tech.
They have.
Now, granted, that car is like another 30 grand, but you've got the tech there if you want to spend the money. You know, that they're making the improvements.
They certainly are. So, I think that's up from us, isn't it?
I've got nothing else to add.
Yeah?
Genuinely.
Okay, so let us know in the comment section down below what you think about the Peugeot 3008 2021 model and also the 2025.
Would you buy it today? Would you buy this car today? Or would you sooner have the 25 plate?
Yeah, let us know in the comment section. And that's enough from us.
Yeah.
So don't forget to like
and subscribe.
And we'll see you
in the next one. Yeah. Mate, the framing of this had better be fucking incredible because we're not going to be able to pull it off again.
No.
Ask me that again once they've fucked off. And subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next one.
In the next one.
Fucking
Put it there. Put it there. Onwards and upwards.
What the fuck did you say? What the fuck did you say?
I said we'll see you in the next one.
No, you didn't. You said see you on the next one.
You said see you at the next one.
So let us know in the comment section down below what you think about the Peugeot.
What are we doing at the end? Are we going to get in and drive off? Or
No, we'll just walk past the camera.
just walk past the camera? Okay, fine.
Yeah, you ready?
I'll go that way, you go that way,
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to like,
And subscribe
and we'll see you
in the next one. That's the most fucking awkward outro ever.